YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with another member mock draft where you guys play GM for a team. And this is actually going on live right now. I started the recording a little late. Trevor Lawrence just went first to the Jags. We're on a roll right now. But we're going to do more of these member mocks. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter for updates. I usually tweet out the link for this. If you're going to sign up for walkthemock.com, use code GOATHOUSE. To get the 20% off. You only need it for about a month right now. So, yeah, here's the draft. Jake, drafting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, took Trevor Lawrence first overall as expected. So we really didn't miss anything. Now the Jets are on the clock. And just to show you guys really quick, yeah, here's our Twitter at GoatHouseNFL. And I usually tweet these things out, tweet the link out. And if you guys sign up, you see on the screen here with the code GOATHOUSE if you are going to sign up. But I'm always... The rooms fill pretty quickly. Everyone's trying to get scrambling, trying to get their team. They fill up pretty quickly, so you kind of got to be fast with it. But we do a bunch of these to try to get everyone involved. And there's always changes, around the draft world, the rumors. So you're always changing your mind on who you want to pick. And sometimes somebody's playing GM for one team. You can switch the next time to a different team. But we got the Jets on the clock. We expect this to be Zach Wilson here. If it was the real draft. But I think people are kind of acting like it is here. That's the cool part about it on this website. It's pretty official. You can make trades with one another. We got trades that happen all the time. So maybe the Jets are trying to work on a trade here. But you would think Zach Wilson. Pick is in. Zach Wilson. All right, let's see if we can... shrink that down a little bit. That's better. Not blocking anything, but now we can't really see it. 49ers on the clock. Now, this is kind of where the draft starts. Everyone you can debate this. I kind of went on a rant in the recent podcast episode. I end up uploading that segment as a video because I think they should take Justin Fields. I don't understand why people are saying he's not a fit, or there's guys that are better fits. I don't really agree with that. We saw the Bears just come up to 4, so that happened. Junior, and that's not our Junior, even though he is a Bears fan, so that's interesting. Bears and Falcons work out a deal, so the Falcons going to move back to 20, all the way back to 20. They're going to take the Bears' second-round pick, fifth-round pick. They get a first next year and a third the next year. That looks like a lot, but it honestly might take more. It actually could take less of the amount of picks, but it could take an extra first. We saw what the Dolphins got from the 49ers, from the 49ers. 49ers move up to 3. They got 2 first-round picks on top of the swap. So technically 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick. So the Falcons might be able to get an extra first out of that. 49ers take Justin Fields. So, yeah, we see when fans pick for the 49ers, it's common that they take Justin Fields because most of us have Justin Fields. The Bears were quick here. I mean, they knew what they wanted. So, got to be a quarterback. It's going to be Trey Lance. So the Bears grab Trey Lance. It'd be interesting in a Matt Nagy system. I think it will work with what Matt Nagy wants to do. A good mixture of we got another trade. A good mixture of play action, which they were starting to roll with at the end of last year, but they can still run, some of that RPO that Nagy's looking to run. But yeah, kind of back to the errands for the 49ers. Yeah, I like that pick. I think a lot of the fans like the pick. I think, will they overthink it? Will they go with just kind of the guy who really just, in their eyes, fits instead of taking the best, most talented quarterback? The Bears do come all the way up and get Trey Lance. That's Junior for the Bears. Pulled a maneuver there. That's a lot of picks. Realistically, I think that could happen. I think it could be less amount of picks, but another first-round pick because the Falcons are moving. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I don't know if there's enough actually, even though it's a lot of picks. I think it could be an extra first-round pick and then maybe minus that 2022 third out of it, perhaps. And maybe the fifth as well if there's an extra first-round pick. The Falcons do, need to fill a lot of holes on defense, so they add a bunch of extra picks here. They move back. The Bears do get Trey Lance. But the Broncos just came up. Michael drafting for the Broncos. And there actually reports out there the Broncos do want to trade up for a quarterback. We'll see if that's smoke or not. But it makes sense to me because they've kind of built their team. It's a really complete roster where they could afford to do this. They just need a quarterback unless they believe in Drew Lock, So they could afford to do this. So that makes sense to me. They trade with the Bengals. They come out 4 spots, and the Bengals gain a second-round pick. Yeah, honestly, it's about correct value there. They're only moving back 4 spots, but the 5th pick is very, very valuable. The Bengals might be able to pull something else out of that, because the value goes up every single year. Team desperate to come up and get a quarterback. So I didn't realize that. So, it's going to be Mac Jones, you would think, and that means all 5 quarterbacks. It's Mac Jones. This would be wild if it happened. I'm not even going to say it's the Bears trading up that far might not be that realistic. But look at that. 5 picks in the top 5 quarterbacks of the draft. That'll be nuts. That'll be absolutely nuts. But yeah, I think they came off the board in how I ranked them, so I like that. I would like Mac Jones with the Broncos, with that talent there. They got Bama-like talent there on the offense. Yeah, I think it's a fit in their offense. What they ran last year, seeing a whole bunch of different type of plays. They didn't kind of just stick to one thing. And that's kind of what Mac Jones did with Alabama. So I do like that there for them. Would you want to trade all the way up to 5 to do it, though? Maybe Broncos fans would rather stick with Drew Lock, so that's definitely an interesting debate. But Sean and the Dolphins are on the clock. Remember, the Dolphins did have the 3rd pick. They moved back to 12 in real life, and then they moved up back to 6 in real life. Now he's going to stay put. No more trades here, as expected. I think they did enough with that pick. They can definitely move with the other picks. Dolphins select Jamar Chase. So they still get their guy there, the receiver from LSU. He was an elite prospect as a receiver, sure thing. And even though he opted out this year, but yeah, I would grade this very high for the Dolphins because you factor in it, they gained, they moved back, gained picks, and still got the guy. So that'd be fantastic for the Dolphins. Pair him with Will Fuller and Devontae Parker. Preston Williams is pretty just like that. Goes from a weaker receiver unit to a pretty damn good one. Now for the Lions, Joey is picking for them, and they could move back. This could potentially be a move back spot. Kind of going back to Sam trading back for the Bengals. The Broncos had to come up. Would the Bengals do that though? It's a possibility. Definitely, it's always a possibility. But I think maybe some fans, just for an example, I think would want them to stay put and take that Chase or that Fields or that Slater. But look at, Chase is gone. Run on quarterbacks, you might be able to stay put and still get one of those guys, one of those tackles perhaps. So that would be huge. That would be huge there. That's the thing too. Like if you're trading with a team, like for an example, the Broncos or even the Bears, you kind of know that team's taking a quarterback. So there's another quarterback. We know what position's going. So the other positions, other players, skill positions will be getting pushed back. Kind of like the Dolphins did. They were involved in the trade to send the Niners to 3, obviously, and they know it's quarterback. They have an idea before anyone else, and they trade back up because they know since the quarterback's going 3 now, a guy like Jamar Chase gets pushed back a notch. So, the Bengals have, in this situation, the Bengals have that opportunity. The Bengals made a trade. These guys are making trades pretty early before they're on the clock here, but I guess that those 2 trades happened way before the draft actually started with the Dolphins, Eagles, and 49ers. Lions are selecting Devonte Smith. Yeah, I think it's a good fit. They could go Micah Parsons. They could, I think Rashawn Slater is kind of a sleeper option here. They could put him at right tackle, put Big V at guard, or the opposite. That's kind of a wild card pick. But Joey and the Lions go Devonte Smith. But we did have a trade. Remember, the Chargers got up. And, they got that original Broncos pick, but it ended up being a trade with the Bengals. The Bengals traded twice. So we'll see what the Bengals got. That'll help us out. So Chargers get 9. Bengals go back to 13. The Bengals add another second-round pick. So, yeah, they didn't do too much in free agency. They lost some guys. So, actually, this could help. Now you can get the offensive line together. You can grab that receiver as well. It would be an interesting route, the Bengals take there. Panthers select Kyle Pitts. Yeah, just too good to pass. I mean, it's another elite prospect, tight end and receiver, can dominate in line, the slot, outside. I don't know who's going to cover him. It's one of those guys, sometimes receivers, going against college corners, the NFL corners, big difference. The NFL corners, they just look at him as another receiver. But I don't know if Kyle Pitts is going to be like that. It's going to be a struggle for even NFL corners, defensive backs to, it's not always going to be a corner, maybe a slot corner, maybe a linebacker, a safety. I think it's going to be a struggle. It's a top-tier prospect, just a dominant prospect. So Panthers just can't pass on that. They grab him. Offense pretty explosive, just a lot on Teddy Bridgewater in this scenario. But Landon does take Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I would like that. It's just too good to pass on. I'm that type of guy. You can't pass on elite talent. You just can't. That guy be making Pro Bowls for years, and you passed on him because you needed something else. But Just comes up for the Chargers, like we already talked about. The offensive lineman hanging around here, it makes a lot of sense. You would think Penei Sewell. Plug and play at left tackle, what they need. He played with Justin Herbert at Oregon, too. That's kind of a bonus. That's a small part of it because that's not going to, obviously, Herbert's not making the pick, but it's a bonus. It helps. Some chemistry there. It's got to be Penei Sewell. It's Penei Sewell. So you start to see him drop a little bit, and they go up and get him. I think it's realistic that Sewell drops around this range, actually, from what I've been hearing. I feel it sounds like Slater would be off the board at this point, but in this scenario, he's not. With the quarterbacks going here, it could push guys back like this scenario. I don't know if both get pushed back further in this, though, but they did in this scenario, so that's pretty interesting. Cowboys on the clock. Do they go corner? It seems like they're mocked corner a lot. Do they go Patrick Surtain? Do they go J.C. Horn? It's an interesting one because I actually think J.C. Horn's, they're both fits. They're both great fits. I think J.C. Horn's better fit. But I see a scenario where a guy like Dan Quinn sees Patrick Surtain as a better fit. And I'm gonna try to. It sounds weird. I'm gonna tell him, I'm not actually talking to him, that J.C. Horn's really the better fit. And why I say that is because Dan Quinn would run a lot of cover one. Man coverage. You want your corner to be able to press. J.C. Horn, Surtain. They both do a phenomenal job. These are the best corners in this class, man coverage, but specifically pressing. So they're both fits. I think Horn is better at man coverage and pressing. I'd say the technique Surtain's a little better, but he's not that great, covering the underneath in man coverage. Slant specifically, drags. He's athletic enough, but you don't want to have this guy chasing guys in man coverage and the shallow crosses, the slants. You'd rather have J.C. Horn doing that. I think that's where he's better. And if you're going to run strictly man, I think Surtain will be better in a team that runs man and cover four. But the reason why I think Dan Quinn and company of the Cowboys, I think I think he'll value that length. I think he'll view that as the biggest difference. Horn versus Surtain. Surtain's got a little more length to him, a little taller. So I think he'll value that. But I think who truly fits what he wants to do more, is Horn. But if they do want to run a little more cover four, then Surtain, Quiddy pays the pick. That's interesting. It's not a popular pick, but I do think there's a possibility to it. Jordan for the Cowboys picks Quiddy Pay here. They need a pass rusher, another pass rusher to Marcus Lawrence. They could use one, and I think Quiddy Pay does fit their scheme. So we'll see if they do that. It's going to be interesting to see where these edge rushers go. It's very unpredictable on where they're falling here. The Giants take Rashawn Slater, so just too good to pass here. This is kind of the very latest. I think that second tackle, whether it's Sewell or Slater, comes off the board. And then Ruvim picks Slater for the Giants. So be curious, if that happened in real life, I'd be, thinking, where are they gonna put him? They're gonna put Andrew Thomas to right tackle, put Slater at left tackle. Are you gonna put Slater at right tackle, keep Andrew Thomas at left tackle? Could you play Slater at guard? Thomas and Solder at tackle. So there's multiple ways they can go there. I would imagine they probably put Slater at right tackle, would be my prediction. But that would create a debate, topic, good discussions there if they took him, which is a possibility if he falls through. Joey picking for the Eagles. Jalen Waddle's still on the board, isn't he? Yeah, Jalen Waddle's still on the board. Could go that route. I do like Jeremiah Wusu-Karamoa for them. Could go Micah Parsons as well. He's taking his time. Does he want to trade back? Maybe everyone's off that off the board that really liked there at 12. And then we'll finally see the Bengals pick for the first time. Yeah, this might be Jalen Waddle. Would be my prediction. That would be my prediction in this scenario here. Taking the time. Maybe looking for a trade, like we said. Yeah, we still got to see the Bengals pick. Remember, they traded back twice, actually. The Falcons trade all the way back to 20. Could be targeting a pass rusher or cornerback there. No trades back here. A little too early for that to be happening. This is 3 rounds. I'm going to be doing this live over the first round, and then we'll kind of come back and recap the second and third round. But this is the first round here, as I'm talking, is actually happening. It's live, obviously. But the Eagles pick is finally in. We would think Jalen Waddle, Micah Parsons. So they do need linebackers pretty bad. Parsons extremely rangy, can blitz at a high level. Could almost be a pass rusher if you need him to, but I don't think they would in that case. Their defensive front's pretty solid. Their actual defensive line, pretty solid. They might like Owusu Karamoah a little more than Parsons because of his coverage ability. That's somewhere where Parsons could work on. And I think they're looking for more of coverage linebackers. Just my prediction. But they may just view Parsons as just a better prospect overall. And a good thing here is you got that front four that's looking really solid. They got a pretty good pass rush, and Parsons a really good blitzer. Him blitzing from the inside. Offense is kind of just worried about this really good defensive line of the Eagles. Parsons could have a day, or they just know he's a really good blitzer. They're focused on him. A guy like Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, these guys could have a day, as well. So that would be the big-time upside there. The Bengals finally get the pick here. Those tackles are gone. Could go Elijah Vera-Tucker. Could go, I was about to say Jalen Waddle. So it would be Jalen Waddle with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. The good thing about this is you get some speed on the outside. T. Higgins, kind of a contested catch kind of guy. Catch the ball in stride, downfield, or really anywhere on the field. And Tyler Boyd's, maybe the best slot receiver in football. Really could do it all. Just knows how to get open. And then Waddle, you get the speed guy to pair with those guys. So it's a pretty good fit, actually. So if you just really like Waddle, you view him as more of a fit because you want that more of that speed, home run ability for Joe Burrow. You possibly know you can move back, gain some picks, and still get him. So that could be a route they take. It could be. We'll see. If Waddle just somehow, what I predicted the Eagles to take him a pick before. If the Eagles took him, what would the route have been for the Bengals? Maybe like Elijah Vera-Tucker, perhaps. But if that is your plan, say a team has that plan, we're targeting that specific guy like Jalen Waddle, there's a chance that blows up, or maybe they're just interested in, they're okay with taking multiple guys here. Vikings are on the clock. Could be pass rusher or offensive line. Elijah Vera-Tucker, Christian Darsaw. I think they'll really like some of these pass rushers. So Quiddy pays off the board, but I think they'll really like Jason Oweh with his freakish athleticism. It's a guy they would want to work with, similar to Neil Hunter, who's on the Vikings. Jalen Phillips possibility. I'm going to predict that whoever's picking for them probably going to pick an offensive lineman. Vera-Tucker, perhaps. We will see. Then we got the Patriots coming up. Quarterbacks off the board. They weren't able to trade up. Maybe they didn't even try. Patriots can go a number of routes as well, though. And you see the Cardinals are sitting pretty right now because those corners are still available. J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain, that is. Vikings select Patrick Surtain, so never mind about the corner. So the Vikings, this probably would be a Vikings move. I mean, they added Patrick Peterson. They added, Mackenzie Alexander's a slot corner. And they have Cam Dantzler. They have Jeff Gladney. They get better with Surtain. They do have Alabama's defensive back coach as their defensive back coach now. So that's interesting. It'd be Surtain and Peterson there, the Vikings, Mike Zimmer loves his corner, so I wouldn't rule this out. Just not a common pick right now just because it feels like they kind of cleaned up that secondary in general so they can focus on other things. But we'll see. Maybe they're not expecting Surtain to be there, and if he is, because again, Patrick Peterson's just a one-year deal, and Surtain's an upgrade over Gladney or Dantzler, whoever's out there. So that it is a possibility. You would think maybe offensive line pass rush a little higher on the board, but we'll see. Danny for the Patriots. Could the Patriots go here? Wusu Koromoa, I can see them using him as, linebacker, slot, strong safety really is a possibility. They can use him everywhere. Just by play, it changes up. I could see that. A lot of good pass rushers left. JC, I actually would like, I don't know if Danny goes with this, but I would like JC Horn for them. Stephon Gilmore got 1 year left in his deal. There's been some trade rumors around him. I don't think a trade happens. They may rather extend him, but he's got 1 year left in his deal. And J.C. Jackson, they put the tender on, so he could be back for that 1 year, or somebody can sign him still. Technically, he's a free agent, but if somebody signs him, they owe the Patriots a pick, so they could be losing him. Team may wait a certain time to do it, and then the Patriots, might be just. And really, J.C. Horn, is a really good fit. They're going to run they run cover 1, they run cover 0, which your corner's got to be really tight in coverage in that. So I think it'd be a really good fit there. So I would actually like that pick in this scenario. I don't know if he's here in real life, when this actually goes down. They take Elijah Vera-Tucker. I don't know if their offensive line's looking set right now. They could put him at left tackle, perhaps an upgrade over Isaiah Wynn if that's who they plan to put there. They did do a good job kind of revamping a little, or retooling the offensive line. Nicholas picking for the Cardinals. He's got to go J.C. Horn. You got to go J.C. Horn here. I think the Cardinals ran a lot of man coverage, a lot of press last year. J.C. Horn is most people's number 1 corner in the draft class, regardless, but he also is that best press man corner. He fits the Cardinals. It's kind of like one of those dream picks there. So I think that's the route they have to go, or they would go at least, because you don't have to. There's a couple of. I really like a guy like Elijah Moore for them. They did pick up a receiver in free agency, AJ Green, totally different type of receiver. But I think it's more. I think. I think it could be more. I was going to say it's more of an offensive team, but they did build on their defense pretty well. They're trying to, I guess, make some balance out there. But I think it could be an explosive offense with a guy like that. So that's why I bring it up. But we'll see what happens. And we got the Raiders. A lot of talk about the Raiders going offensive line, perhaps. You expect them to get a veteran corner. In free agency, there's still some out there. They haven't done that yet, though. Do they draft another one? I don't know if I could see them draft another one that early. Take another shot. But here's the Cardinals. Gonna be Caleb Farley. So yeah, Farley was kind of known as maybe the top corner for a bit. Some injury concern. Even before the injuries, though, it just sounded like kind of the media was a little higher on him than the actual teams, from what I've heard, because the teams value that press ability. And I think that's why I think Horn fits the Cardinals a little better. But the upside of Farley could be the difference here. If he checks out with the medical staff there, then maybe a team they're going to be comfortable with taking him, obviously. And we got the Raiders on the clock. Again, I think offensive line's a possibility here. And, I don't think fans like that. Anytime you mock them an offensive lineman, they're not in love with that idea. So we'll see. I wonder if an MJ is a Raiders fan or if he's just a fan in general. But the fans don't seem to be in love with the offensive line idea, even though it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But they can go. I mean, they built the pass rush in general, interior and off the edge in free agency. So I don't think they go that in the first round. They could. A lot of people mocking them, Wusu Koromoa. I don't really see that, but it's a possibility there as well. Yeah, they can go a number of routes. Maybe somebody else trying to trade back here because they're taking their time. We'll see. We haven't seen a trade in a little bit. We saw quite a few right off the bat for the most part, and then a little quiet right now. Yeah, last year there was a lot of hype about these trades are going to happen. This team's going to trade up for Tua. This team's going to trade up for Herbert. But it was mainly kind of the Chargers were going to trade up for Herbert. Tua, Dolphins for Tua was kind of the talk, and we kind of expected these trades to happen. And I think teams kind of had that in place, but then realized we could just stay put and get our guy. So that could be the case again this year with already the trade the Niners to go up and get a quarterback, guys might be falling, and teams were like, yeah, I think we can just stay put, and somebody's going to fall to us. So it's definitely a strong. We already seen some wild trades. I think it's a strong possibility. It says the Steelers are on the clock, so that's interesting. Raiders, Samuel Cosmi. So they do go offensive line. I don't know about Samuel Cosmi, though. Do they move him to right tackle? Possibility there. It's a possibility. Maybe a guy like Tevin Jenkins, maybe a little more of a fit. Steelers traded up, and they're really quick to make the pick. Christian Darsaw, so they seen a tackle sitting there, and they had to go get him. So they need offensive line. They need running back, perhaps a corner. The picks are coming in like crazy. So we'll try to recap these, but I mean we kind of know what's happening here. Washington takes Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker from Notre Dame. Yeah, I've been kind of mocking this, but I'm starting to think, do they? It really depends if they like him at linebacker or not. We're trying to get in the mind of Rivera over there. Do they like him at linebacker? Do they like him in the slot? Do they like him as like a strong safety? Are they going to use him all of the above? And they could use a good coverage linebacker like this. I think the situation is they run a lot of cover 3, and usually in those cover 3 defenses, you usually have a guy like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, kind of a robber is what it's called. And it's a guy that plays, it's kind of a safety linebacker hybrid, but you start to think, and it's exactly what he is, but you start to think that Landon Collins is almost in a way, that's kind of what he is. He plays in the box a ton, and he is a strong safety. So they would maybe, starting to think, even though I do like the fit, because it's exactly his label, but you start to think, do they already have that player? So if they are going to pick up a linebacker, maybe they get a true but they could view Owusu-Koramoah as a true linebacker as well. It's a very strong possibility. So kind of could debate with myself on that one, both sides there. But he'd be a heck of a ball player in Rivera's defense, that's for sure. So kind of backtracking a little bit. MJ took Samuel Cosmi. I don't know if that one happens, but I do think they're really looking for offensive line. Daniel trades up, takes Christian Darsaw. They need tackles. They might need guards. They need a running back, But they see Darsaw dropping a little bit. Well, I think it's realistic he drops around here. It's starting to sound like now. And the Falcons finally picked. They've got a bunch of picks, traded back. And they take J.C. Horn. So that worked out pretty well because Horn ended up sliding through. They can continue to run man covers like they did last year because they drafted A.J. Terrell. Now they take J.C. Horn, who's a better prospect than A.J. Terrell. And Terrell had a really good rookie year, especially down the stretch. So that's looking like an future, can't say right now, but a future elite cornerback duo there for the Falcons. So they load up on picks and still get J.C. Horn. That's the beauty of trading back sometimes because David, when he made that deal at pick 4, I don't think he thought he was getting J.C. Horn at pick 20. He's like, I like some players back there. I like having extra picks. I don't need to take a quarterback right now. Let's go back. Let's move back, get those picks. And all of a sudden, hey, J.C. Horn, he's here. I'm going to take him. And that happens a ton in the NFL, And that's why I love to be in the war room when that stuff happens. You got to be really excited when things like that happen. Unexpected. It's the draft. Unexpected things happen. But backtracking, we talked about Daniel taking Chris Darsaw for the Steelers. Amar took Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah for Washington. Now David made that trade. If you're skimming through the video, that's what happened. The Bears moved up, got their quarterback in Trey Lance. Falcons got quite a bit there, it looks like. First glance, looks like a load of stuff, but they may actually get another first rounder moving all the way back to 20. There's a lot of value on pick 4. They'd probably instead of maybe that 2022 third, they would probably get a first in the 2023 perhaps as well. It'd be wild if that happened. Colts run out of time. They need a left tackle. You just start to run out of fits here. It just ends up being a reach for anybody else. They also need a pass rusher pretty bad in my opinion. And there's Jalen. I would take Jalen Phillips here. I would take Jalen Phillips. Or Jason Oweh, the freak. I mean, Phillips is freaky as well. You just got to go Phillips in this scenario. You take Rashad Bateman. I do think they need another. I think they need a receiver 1. I really think so. Surprised they got T.Y. Hilton back because he was kind of their receiver 3 last year, and they have plenty of receiver 3s. Pascal they value because his blocking ability. So he's kind of their receiver 2 in a way, but he kind of feels like a receiver 3 type guy. They have Paris Campbell. They got some of these rotation guys that kind of can fill that. Michael Pittman looks like he's going to be legit. But I think just getting that other number 1 playmaker, because you can get better at your number 1. In my mind, you need 2 number 1s. So Pittman's the other guy. So maybe they do that with a guy like Bateman, playing kind of opposite of Pittman there. I think it's unlikely. I think they kind of want to keep the receiver band together is what looks like what they want to do. I think this is either a tackle, which in this case would be a reach in my opinion. A lot of the fits are kind of gone anyways. I think it could be a pass rusher. It could be a trade back. Colts could trade back, try to recoup that 3rd round pick that they lost, and they know they might be missing a 1st round pick next year. Both from the Wentz trade. So they can try to get some back here. You're not going to try to get a 1st round pick because you're going to have to move back really far for that to happen. But maybe try to get that 3rd round pick back. Chris Pickett for the Titans. Titans could go. They might have wanted Bateman. I think they'll like Terrace Marshall from LSU, kind of like Corey Davis replacement. Long, built receiver, can play inside and out. You don't see that those long receivers be able to play the inside as well as out. You see them play outside, but inside as well too often. So kind of replace them there. Elijah Moore is a dominant player from Ole Miss who I like a lot. Pair him with A.J. Brown. I would love that. I think they would view Marshall as more of a fit. Zaven Collins had his pro day. Vrabel was kind of all over him, running the show, but he kind of always does that. So they could kind of go that route to get that hybrid linebacker. They take Kadarius Toney. Yeah, another option. Like I was talking about Elijah Moore. It's basically a similar pick. A guy that's shifty, speedy, play him in the slot. I'm going to dominate there. Pairing him with A.J. Brown. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous duo right there. Jets back on the clock. Jets took Zach Wilson obviously earlier. Jets can go a number of ways here. I mean, this is one of the more unpredictable picks, I think, because they can go a number of ways, and they take Jalen Phillips. I mean, Jalen Phillips, he's just too good to pass on. So just like that, the Jets had no pass rush for so many years, just no edge rushers for so many years. And just like that, they got Carl Lawson and Jalen Phillips with Robert Saleh coaching the defense. Talk about a turnaround. That might be one of the better pass rush duos in football. Just like that. That'd be pretty wild. So I love that pick there. Just too good to pass. And now we got the Dolphins on the clock. Yeah, I didn't cover that. That's right. Steelers moved up to get Christian Darsaw. They got pick 18, of course, with Christian Darsaw, and then the Dolphins got 24, and they got a few other things there. We'll see. And then we got would have liked Phillips for the Dolphins. They take Azeez Ojulari, so more of a pass rusher that can drop in coverage. So that's realistic as well. Because they kind of use Van Noy there, who is hybrid. He can rush the passer and he can drop in coverage. I think he's more, he's a hybrid, but I think Van Noy was more of a linebacker. Ojulari, a little bit of a hybrid, but he's definitely more of a pass rusher, and that's definitely the route in the Dolphins. They want more of a pass rush out there. Ogba was kind of surprisingly a standout last year, but it's not guaranteed that's going to continue, Looked really good in that scheme, but they need somebody else out there that is more of a pass rusher, but that also can drop in coverage. So, I didn't really think about that. So Sean, it's a good job there. I think it's a good fit. I like Phillips for them. Just get more of that pass rush because I think Phillips is the best pass rusher in the class. But Ojulari kind of bringing that. He's got reps covering. I think Flores will like that. So that's kind of a good thinking there. And it's weird because Jets just took Jalen Phillips too. They were the pick before. I think Ojulari could fit the Jets a lot because you look at Robert Saleh's scheme. They got Carl Lawson, who's just going to go after the quarterback on one side, right? Like Nick Bosa did for Robert Saleh on 49ers. Who was on the other side? Who did they trade away a lot to get? D Ford. D Ford, been a little bit of letdown, but that's only because of the injuries. And the defense is way better with him. He's a hell of a ball player. Why did they have to go get him? Because it's a unique defense that Saleh runs. They need a pass rusher on the opposite of Bosa. Obviously, you need another pass rusher, but that also can drop in coverage and kind of be a hybrid type player. And that Ojulari, I don't know if I really call him a hybrid. He's a pass rusher first that can drop in coverage. So, but I do think he's a fit for that reason. But just like D Ford, it's a pass rusher first. The Bills traded up and took Gregory Rousseau from Miami. So you see another Miami pass rusher come off the board. Let's kind of go back and see this trade that Sean and Daniel made. Dolphins picked up an extra third and a third next year. That's pretty good. They don't, that's pretty good there. It's probably about right in 2021 here. Pretty good for the Dolphins. They still get a good fit. Lewis trades up. Who had the 25th pick? The Jags had the 25th pick. And that's exactly what they would get, in my opinion. I think they would get a third. And they take Gregory Rousseau from Miami. Sounds like he could drop a little bit. The Bills might be able to stay put and get him. I don't know if I like this for the Bills. I think it's a fit, but he's kind of one of those upside guys where he didn't test too well, but I'm not really too worried about that. Upside guy that his best tape was from inside. The Bills really aren't going to play him inside. I don't think they'll probably play him off the edge. They do need guys that just get to the quarterback, but he's a little bit of a project off the edge. And the Bills, they haven't really been – I don't think they've really been working – there's a really good defense, really good team. I don't know if they've really been working that well with their pass rushers. These guys are getting pressure, but for some reason, they just cannot get the quarterback to the damn ground, So I just think it's another project that they might not want. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe they trust themselves, but who knows there. Dante picking for the Browns. Did I see what the trade? Yeah, there was a third. Yep. I would like Jason Away for the Browns here. Penn State pass rusher, just an absolute freak. I mean, he's just too damn athletic, and he's got good moments on tape. He's got good moments, really good stopping to run. Really pretty instinctive in terms of run plays, I thought. So that's kind of standing out and making me kind of bump him up on top of the athleticism that we're learning a little more about. Zaven Collins for the Browns. They had another linebacker, guy that can blitz, pass rush off the edge if you ever need him to. Can cover. He's pretty instinctive in coverage. He's not really instinctive pre-snap, which I really I like a little more, but kind of just reading the quarterback in coverage, just always around the ball. So a guy that the Browns could use, a guy that's always around the ball there. The Dolphins trade up now. Dolphins traded up now. Dolphins taking Devin Jenkins, so they get their right tackle now. So they took Jamar Chase instead of taking that tackle, and then they traded back, got Azeez Ojulari, their pass rusher. Now they traded up. That was with the Ravens. The Ravens get 4, and they gain a third round pick there. So that's probably about right too. Remember the Dolphins gained an extra third, so that's a really good job. They didn't really lose. That's a fantastic job by Sean there. And they get Tevin Jenkins, their plug and play at right tackle. So they got 3 starters here in the first round. It's going to help their team a ton. I think some good fits as well. I think that's a heck of a job there, what he pulled off. It's some good GM maneuverings right there. Michael picking for the Saints. Saints could go number. I really want them to get a receiver for Jameis, another receiver out there. A lot of the good Elijah Moore would be fantastic right here. Michael Thomas does play in the slot a lot, and so does Elijah Moore, but I think that offense, they make it work. They take Greg Newsome. What I do like is a fit. They need another corner. They moved on from Janoris Jenkins, of course. So they get a young corner. Ends up being cheaper than what Janoris Jenkins was and has upside to play opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. So it's definitely a possibility there. And then we got Sam of the Bengals. He traded back a couple times. Now he traded up. So he gained, so that's a good job. But he gained 2 second-round picks, remember, by trading back a couple times up here. And he used one of those to come back up in the first round. So you're going to be left over with another second-round pick, of course, too. So that's a fantastic job here with some maneuvers in the first round. They took Jalen Waddle. It's got to be offensive line. A lot of the offensive linemen are off the board, though. A lot of the good ones off the board. So we'll see what he does, who he had to have. It really depends. It's really up in the air. Only the Bengals know what they want to do with kind guy like Jonah Williams, who we think could play guard. You know, do they put a left tackle? They get a left tackle, and they put Jonah Williams to guard. Do they keep Jonah Williams a left tackle? Do they want to guard? Take Alex Leatherwood. So if this happened in real life, it wouldn't really tell us a whole lot, because there's talk about Alex Leatherwood coming from Bama, could play tackle. He did play tackle, could play guard at a high level. Some teams like him at guard better. Jonah Williams from Alabama, who the Bengals took, most people liked him at guard better. The Bengals took him for tackle, and it sounds like they want to keep him at tackle. So I would predict that Leatherwood plays guard inside of Jonah Williams here. It could be the opposite, though, so pretty interesting. The Jags, remember, they traded back a little bit, and they're going to take Liam Eichenberg here. They got Cam Robinson back in the franchise tag. That could just be a one-year thing, so they could be looking out for the future. Eichenberg, I don't have a first-round grade on him. He could be very solid. He's really good run-blocking tackle, really good. I think he needs a little bit of work in pass protection. So we're right around the second round, though. It's 30th pick, so it's not, not the end of the world or anything. They traded back and got things as well, so that's good. Chiefs take Jalen Mayfield. He could play right tackle, could play guard. I think they're set at guard. It sounds like Kyle Long would be their right tackle right now. I'm not loving the idea of that. So Jalen Mayfield coming in playing right tackle would be better, but it would kind of is Kyle Long going to ride the bench, coming out of retirement to do that? Who knows? It's a business. So I guess that would make the Kyle Long pick look a little less appealing there. The Buccaneers are going to take Joseph Asai, the edge rusher from Texas, who could play a little off the ball, so they can kind of use him in blitz scenarios and rotate in with those pass rushers. They don't have a lot of needs. Second round is starting. There's second and third round we're doing here. But yeah, what I'm talking right now was live, what I'm recording, but I'm going to add on top of this video a recap of what happened here. So the rest of the video will be that way, but so it'll continue here in a second. All right, now taking a look at what happened here in rounds 2 and 3. To start off round 2, Eric Stokes to the Jaguars. You think maybe they put him in a slot in this scenario. We'll see. And then the Jets, Jason Away. So I think he's locked himself in the first round now. I think with that athletic ability, those traits already polished, stopping the run, just kind of got to work, complete the pass rush ability. With that pro day, like I said, I think he definitely falls in the first round. So surprised he lasted here, but this would be fantastic for the Jets. The Jets, they just took Jalen Phillips, so they're really loading up on pass rushers here. They do already have Carl Lawson as well. David for the Falcons take Travis Etienne, which is a common pick. It's definitely a possibility. Ronnie Perkins to the Ravens. This was part of that was part of that Dolphins. So that's their first pick. That's the Ravens' first pick in this mock. And then they selected Ronnie Perkins. So adding to that edge rush group, Javon Holland for Joey. Pair him with Anthony Harris. I like Anthony Harris at free safety. I like Javon Holland at strong, could also play in the slot pretty, at a high level, kind of like a Tyrann Mathieu type player. So that would be pretty solid. For the Eagles, Sam for the Bengals takes Wyatt Davis. Yeah, they definitely need some more guys in the interior. How about Joe Mixon? How about, stopping that interior pressure for Joe Burrow and then get Mixon going, Elijah Moore, I don't think he makes it to the second round, but there's always surprises. This would be a fantastic pick for the Panthers here for Landon. I'm a big Elijah Moore guy, so I would like that pick. And then we got Christian Barmore of the Packers. It's weird, Christian Barmore, there's a good chunk of people that think, solid defensive lineman, best in the class, will go somewhere in the first round, probably towards the back end of the first round. And there's another group of people that just think he's not a first-round pick at all. Other people think kind of locked in there in the back part. So it is kind of weird. So I guess it's a possibility he can last this spot. This would be fantastic for the Packers. They'll get the best defensive lineman in the class. They need more help next to Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark plays in a couple different, can move in a couple different spots across the defensive line, but I think a nose tackle first. Barmore is not a nose tackle, obviously. He can move around a bit as well. So I think that would be fantastic for the Packers. Ryan picks him there. Some good value. Levi Onwuzurike for Joey and the Lions here. There's some people that think he could be the best defensive lineman in the class. Pretty good interior pressure there. So Lions add him with Brockers. The Dolphins get their running back here, which is the preview. The Dolphins were trading a lot in this draft, as we saw. I had to come up and get Najee Harris, move ahead of the Falcons. So you see, well, the Falcons already took Travis Etienne, but still, they had to come up and get him. Falcons get their pass rusher, Carlos Basham. Yeah, it depends on, Dean Pease came in there. He's going to run more of a 3-4 type defense. I think they get more athletic pass rushers than Basham, but who knows? He could switch it up. Davion Nixon to the Cowboys. Another good, he's a good 3-technique defensive tackle. Marreg drops here. I don't think he drops this far in the actual draft. I think he'll be a first-round pick, top safety in the class. So this is great value for Amar here in Washington. But I don't think he drops there. Danny, Patriots, Rondale Moore. Really load up on those receivers. They added quite a few in free agency, but they can maybe look to move on from N'Keal Harry. And then the Packers getting really good value here. They got Christian Barmore and they get Terrace Marshall, who could be a first-round pick, but also could be early second. This would be fantastic for them. What happened to the Packers in the first? They trade back, right? Trade back with the Bengals. Yes, they trade back, but they end up loading up on some first-round guys, some first-round talents, perhaps. I'm losing my spot here. There we go. Marvin Wilson to the Raiders, maybe a little early. Asante Samuel to the Chargers. I don't know if they'll view Samuel as a fit. I'm not saying they for sure won't. The reasons they moved on from Hayward, I think, because I think they're actually similar. I think they both will thrive in cover 3. I guess it's to be determined, Asante Samuel, but I think they'll be looking for more of a guy that they're a little confident in the fit. I like Samuel in cover 3, which was the reason they moved on from Hayward, because they're not going to run a lot of cover 3, but that's just my opinion, my preference for Samuel. Good playmaker. I like Nick Bolton for the Giants. Ravim here. I like that fit a lot, actually. The Giants have been looking out for more of that instinctive inside linebacker type. Gettleman always raves about, because he had Kuechly, at the Panthers. He always raves about the instincts and how much that means. And he's been trying to locate that guy, not just going to take one just to take one. At Bolton, that's his strength, his instincts. And usually those types of guys go first round. So I'm actually, surprised with the lack of first round buzz he's been getting. He's kind of turned into a sleeper. So that would be fantastic for the Giants. Jamin Davis, he's getting some first round buzz. I actually like Nick Bolton a little better. I might be alone on that, but Jamin Davis getting some first round buzz. He very realistically can go late first, could go early second. So the Jags had another linebacker here. Saints go Paulson Adebo. This might be a little early. They may be looking at some of the other corners here, but they're loading up on corners of the future. Quincy Rochet for the Titans. Yeah, production king right here. Doesn't really have the size, the length. Not that he's that bad in those categories, but he just was productive, and he played pretty well against some good competition too. So the Titans just get a productive guy there for the edge. I think it's a fit in their defense. Colts get Kyle Trask. Interesting. So maybe he learned some Carson Wentz. Maybe they're giving up on Eason. Eason was, a day 3 pick when it's all said and done. So there's not too much invested there. So people shouldn't really get too invested there. Dylan Radunz. It's another trade at Pittsburgh. They move up a little bit. They got to get that tackle. Maybe Whitworth replacement in the future. Maybe he can help out at right tackle. He can play guard. Hamilcar Rashad. He actually had his pro day today. It's interesting because this guy was, based off that 2019 season, he was kind of on our radar. Like, could this be a future first round pick? And then he kind of fell off the face of the earth. And then for the most part, in terms of the draft world here. But the worry was maybe he was undersized. Does he have enough size, strength to play NFL edge rush position? Had his pro day today, put on a good amount of weight, still was very, very athletic. So he's kind of going up boards again. I don't know if I view him as a Seahawk fit. I would, but I think a guy like Darrell Taylor is kind of that range because the opposite side is Carlos Dunlap, so they want more of that athletic type on that Darrell Taylor side. But Darrell Taylor is nothing guaranteed, obviously. Was just drafted last year. But is a sneaky player to look out for. I don't think he goes second round, though. He went from kind of getting this talk way back to all of a sudden he's a day 3 guy, to maybe he's probably still a day 3 guy, probably or maybe a little earlier. Creed Humphrey to the Chiefs, so they get maybe their center of the future, even though they did get Austin Blythe, but that's only a year. Ravens get De'Ami Brown. I like De'Ami Brown a lot. The only downside with the Ravens, I would like if they picked them. I got really nothing against it, but maybe why it's a little scary is because he's mainly a downfield guy, and they kind of have that in Hollywood Brown, and that, that style receiver hasn't really worked out all that much. Maybe they just need somebody guy to do the simple. They need a guy to do the simple things. Get open quickly underneath. Get off that press coverage, and just get open on a quick pass for Lamar Jackson. That's kind of the guy they need, and catch the ball. So maybe they stay away from that. But I do like the player, and I think he'd be good there. Milt Williams of the Browns. I'm a big Milt Williams guy. I would like that pick. Be curious to see where they use him, though. Do they put him at 4-3 end, or they put him at 3 technique? They have Sheldon Richardson at 3 technique. Maybe they put him at the defensive end there. A lot of upside. Javonte Williams, we see that one a lot. Like Javonte Williams for the Steelers. Richie Grant, so kind of replacing Trey Boston from the Panthers. Of course, they released him, so they're getting that free safety there. The playmaker in the back end, I kind of like that fit. Landon Dickerson. Ryan of the Packers doing a really good job here, getting some good value, and that kind of replaces Corey Linsley. It's a fantastic Linsley replacement there. Could actually be better, maybe not right away, but near future, really, because he's that good. It would be a first-round pick if there was no injuries. 49ers take Kelvin Joseph. I like that. I had a good pro day. That's a good pick there for our end. I like Kellen Mond of the Bucks. I think he goes earlier than that, but I do like it. I like Kellen Mond. I like the upside, especially learning from Tom Brady, Bruce Arians. Brett Freiermuth to the Jags. They could use a tight end around this range. Tyson Campbell. I don't think Tyson Campbell's going to be here in the third round. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised with that. So much upside there. So much upside. It makes me pick a team. I picked the Texans because they have the least amount of picks. I didn't actually draft. I let it simulate there. And they ended up taking Josh Myers. The bot took Josh Myers. So looking out for the interior for the future, I suppose. Patrick Jones for the 49ers. Could end up being a rotation guy right off the bat. Would they look for more of a starter on the third round in a good draft class? Who knows? Bengals get their tight end. They get an athletic one, and Brevin Jordan from Miami. Quinn Miners, a lot of buzz. He's probably going to go earlier in this. This would be good, future replacement for Kelsey, but also can start at guard right away. Probably the idea. Jared Patterson, that's kind of a surprising one. I don't think, he's a late to undrafted guy from Buffalo. I'm guessing he ran out of time for that pick, but why would it pick Patterson? That's what I'm confused about. They're set with the running back room. It's just a big-time reach. Lions, Dylan Moses. I kind of like Dylan Moses. I think I've talked about this before. I like his upside as an edge rusher. He was not an edge rusher. I don't think anybody has said that. Off the ball, I'm not really that big of a fan the way he played this past year. He doesn't really present anything that even makes you want to draft him in the third round to play off the ball. I think when they gave him a shot to rush, whether it was blitz or the few reps off the edge, I saw some upside. I think he can play 3-4 edge rusher. I don't really like him off the ball in the third round here, but it's definitely an interesting player. Joe Tryon of the Vikings. I would love that for the Vikings. I don't think he's there, though. I think he's the late first, late second. That's kind of his range. This is early third, not too far off, but that would be fantastic for the Vikings. Amar, Chaz Surratt. Pair him with Cole Holcomb. Those linebackers. Chaz Surratt was a former quarterback, instinctive linebacker that's only getting better. Trey Smith from Tennessee to the Cowboys, guy that can play guard or tackle. They've got a good offensive line, but they've been pretty beat up. Deontay Brown of the Giants helping out the guards. Darius Stills of the Cardinals. Maybe a little early. Mukamu, a little early. Mukajay. Some of these a little early, in my opinion. But you never know. Darius Washington. He played a lot. He played even, free, and strong. A lot of split safety looks. Cover. It's going to be a cover 3 scheme. I don't think I like that fit. There. Because, in the cover 3, you're going to have one safety. He's kind of that buzz safety. He's going to kind of be coming up, kind of controlling the middle of the field a little bit, intermediate range. And then the free safety's got kind of deep thirds, down the middle third of the field. I don't think Washington. I mean, he could. He played more split safety with Trevon Moehrig. It'd be a bit of a transition, but I guess it is for pretty much any college kid going to the NFL. Dwayne Eskridge to the Giants, adding another receiver. Speedster. He dominated outside. You kind of get the slot feeling for him. So could teams be worried? Where's he going to play? Does he fit in the slot? Even though he didn't play there that much. But he's an athlete after the catch for sure. But it would be solid for the Giants. Mari Rodgers to the Jags. Get him for Trevor Lawrence. All right. I'm on board with that. Jay Tufele from USC for the Bears. Maybe looking out for the Akeem Hicks of the future, perhaps. Elijah Molden for the Eagles. Could play some slot corner. Sean Wade of the Titans. He had another slot corner. Wade had a rough year, but he's playing outside. He was very good when he played in the slot, so he can be a really good slot corner in the next level. Tutu Atwell for the Jets. Adding some speed at the receiver position now. Tylan Wallace. I would like that for the Saints a lot. Wallace in the third round. Pretty good value. Definitely the type of receiver they need for Jameis Winston. It's a good fit with Jameis Winston. Get things going downfield. Get a wide out there. Ifeatu Melifonwu. Just a freak build and athlete corner, physical specimen here for the Steelers to pair with Joe Hayden there. Could be ideal. Browns get him on St. Brown. We see they get Alaric Jackson down here as well. Kind of looking out for depth. St. Brown, good solid rotation for now. Most of the time they have two receivers in the field, so getting that third solid one's pretty ideal. Vikings get Walker Little. Yeah, Walker Little is really good. Talent-wise, probably start day. Definitely would start day one for the Vikings at left tackle. Just a lot of injury concerns. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. If there was zero injury concern, he'd be a first-round pick, but there definitely is injury concern there, some big-time injury concerns. So we'll see. Rodarius Williams, a sleeper from Oklahoma State, pretty productive corner for them. Maybe a sleeper to sneak in here, but I still think a 4-5 range. We'll see. Jackson Carman could play tackle or guard, another familiar guy with Trevor Lawrence. Tay Gowan from Central Florida. Yeah, a long, athletic corner here to look out for. A sleeper that definitely is a solid pick in the third round. Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa. Buccaneers getting needed depth. Davis Mills to the Patriots. I kind of like that. It just sounds like he's not going to get out of the second round, the last we've heard here. So good value, though. Jabril Cox, more good value. I think he's not going to get out of the second round, but the Chargers grab him. A good coverage linebacker. James Hudson, potentially replace Orlando Brown. It could be a solid replacement. Josh Ball of the Cowboys, a little early. Venture Miller from Florida, the Titans, a little early there. Jalen Darden, I do like Darden. He's a sneaky athlete, good in the slot. So twitchy. Baron Browning, like him, one of the more versatile players in the draft. Played everywhere pretty much. Kind of a little weapon for Dean Pease there in that defense. Tamorian Terry from Florida State. Long receiver, deep speed type guy. So the Chiefs, could be looking at him. Xavier Thomas, the Chiefs. Brady Christensen. Brady Christensen's stock's kind of up. He had a really good season, and they kind of just got quiet on him, and then he had a good showing at his pro day. So his stock's definitely boosted there. He ended up being a backup with the 49ers. He would, but McGlinchey hasn't been all that great. Maybe he beats him out there. And Trent Williams does have some injury concern looking at the past. But we will see. Those are pretty balanced draft. I don't know if anybody really. I was liking what the Packers were doing in here. Landon Dickerson, fantastic. Terrace Marshall, tremendous value. They finally get a receiver, Christian Barmore. I like this Elijah Moore pick for the Panthers. I think the Jets were doing good. I don't know if they take this many pass rushers, but maybe just too good to pass on. That was the situation there. I liked what the Dolphins did as well. They traded back, and then they traded back up, kind of what they already did, but a different way here, and then filled some needs. So I really liked what they did as well. Some maneuvers. The Bengals pulled a lot of maneuvers as well, moving around a bit. The Bears would only have got Trey Lance. I know the fan base would probably be excited. I'm more of a Justin Fields guy for the Niners, so I like that pick. Chargers saw Penei Sewell going, and they had to come up and get him, so I like a lot of these. We talked about the Bengals kind of trading around a little bit. Jalen Waddle is definitely an interesting discussion because, he does fit, and they kind of need that outside speed as well. So maybe we're on to something here with Sam here, and maybe they prefer that. I kind of like the Ojulari. We talked about Dolphins. I kind of like that Ojulari fit there. It's a pretty good draft. Everyone did a pretty good job here. Definitely more of these coming. And we got more of my mock drafts coming, of course, more updates, a lot of rumors. It's draft season, so we're going to be covering you fully here. My prospect rankings will be somewhere in the near future. I'm still watching film on a lot of players. Usually I'm done by now. We're a little behind, but we're going to be just fine. We have you covered on all that. Check out walkthemock.com. That's the website we use. Use code GOATHOUSE if you sign up. ends up being very cheap. So yeah, check it out. Link in the comment section, pinned in the comments for anything that you need, other videos, links to Twitter, walkthemock.com, things like that. So check it out. Subscribe to us for all of our NFL content, not just the NFL draft, all NFL content here. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.